Welcome, Canes fans. This 2020 season is now upon us. We're back for a brand new season. I'm your boy, Ro, contributor for State of the U and the Orange Bowl boys. And you know how it's customary. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go under the hood. Now, this week is special because this is the first week with brand new coordinator, Lashlee. So this is going to be a two-part series. This is the first half, and then we're going to go back and we're going to look at the second half. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn. It's time to get going. And maybe once or twice we'll hear the word bang. It's 2020. We didn't think we were going to have a season, yet here we are. New system, Lashlee. We take the field, and we're here to break it down. So on this 2nd and 6, they're going to go ahead and have a completion here to the boundary on a stop to Wiggins. But in this case, I just want you to go ahead and see offensive line picks this up really, really well. UAB, they're essentially zero tech on that. They're in an odd man front, you know, your traditional like 34 look, but they're starting to creep a defensive secondary back into the frame. He's starting to creep down in the box. And you know what? Miami, astutely, Brevin Jordan doesn't get credit enough, but he's a willing and able blocker, and he's intelligent. And this is what you're going to see. You're going to see that the defensive line is going to go ahead and slant in this direction. The reason why they're doing that, because they're going to go ahead and try to bring pressure from the field. Brevin Jordan picks up on it. Watch him with his block. Good. Look at Cam Harris. Great job here as a willing blocker as well. This is a delayed run blitz, also trying to go ahead and keep the quarterback in check. You know he's a Ferrari with feet. You got to keep him there. So you want to say that they didn't have a pocket on this one? I'd beg to differ. And the blitz pickup was fantastic on this. Simple offense, hit the stop. That throw, straight line trajectory. That's a dime. Derek King has the arm. I know this was a night where we ran the ball effectively, and we're going to see plays how we did that. But on this place, simple offense, picked up the blitz. Let's go. Okay, once again, I want to highlight Brevin Jordan's blocking ability. Now, he's not getting touches and catches at this point in this juncture, but don't for a second think he's a very multiplicative tight end. He has the ability to go ahead, stay in line, be a willing blocker, and be dangerous in the pass game. In this case, I want you to go ahead and notice something, okay? This is going to be a play-action pass. I'm going to freeze the frame right here. When you're taught to block, you're essentially taught to take the closest threat from the quarterback. But UAB, they know this. So they're trying to go ahead and they're going to try to break a rule. And they're stagger starting, and they're going to go ahead and do a little stunt over here between the middle linebacker and right outside here, the outside linebacker. And this is what happens. Even though he has a direct line to the quarterback, Brevin Jordan picks up that Campbell is free, and he goes ahead and he takes what I consider the more immediate threat, in this case because of velocity. This guy is coming in at a faster pace. So Brevin peels back off, gets him. Listen, if he doesn't do that, maybe he gets and impedes Derek King's ability to make this pass, and it gets batted down at the line. But the fact that Brevin Jordan could adjust on the fly, even though this guy is unchecked, correct, he is, right? This case, he peels off, and this throw, way to read it, slant on the inside. Once again, simple offense, but it's your blocking at the point of the attack that made that work. It's not always roses and butterflies. I get that. We're going to show some of the mishaps and misfires here. You have a 3rd and 14 situation. Not really where you want to be in relationship. You're not ahead of the sticks. You're behind the sticks. And in this case, at the top of the screen, you're going to have, with Mark Pope, you're going to have an option route. And the option is, okay, if he's press man, you're going. And if he's off, you're basically going to go ahead and sit down in a comeback. That's what I believe Derek King is reading. And in this case, they need to get on the same page, fix this up, because I still believe, yes, when Pope pulls off and if you have the timing necessary, you're going to go ahead and you're going to hit that comeback. But if I had to venture and I had to guess, I think in this case the go route was the preferred ball. Let's watch our offensive line blocking here early. Once again, UAB's very aggressive early in the first quarter, blitzing, coming from different angles. That was something that killed Miami. They were essentially always what I refer to as split-leveled, right? Split-leveled. Their pad level was at different lengths last year with Enos. You'd have a left tackle way back here, and a lot of the stunts would get home. In this case, none of the stunts are getting home. Good block. You do have a foreign pocket right here, and this is go back up here to the boundary side right here with the one-on-one matchup. This was a key for me. You got to win your one-on-one matchups, and you win your one-on-one matchups by being smart. He's going to sit down on a comeback right there. However, you saw it pre-snap. It was bump. I think this was the right to go ahead and go for the deep ball on that one-on-one shot. I think we missed an opportunity there, but we watched the rest of the play behind it. Let's move on. After a punt return fumble, UAB is knocking on touchdown's doorstep. Not only do they knock, they step right in. Now, Miami on the back end initially looks like they're in a two-deep safety shell, but they're walking down, and the way the corners are playing this, they're pretty much looking like they're adjusting to a cover 3. The reason why I say that is because you have a cornerback riding the rail. Good play design by UAB. They're running a corner route here, and they're going to stem the route at the top to create a little bit more separation. That's those little things that can help. And in this case, they're leveraging it inside. They're not running a straight corner to the corner. They're actually leveraging inside, and then they're going to break out with a little stem at the top of the route. But I want you to focus on something too, because I know the young man took a lot of flack for finding the ball on the corner position. But can we focus on the safety right here too? Safety goes ahead and takes the semi-roll, but the quarterback's shoulders, and I want to try to back this up, the quarterback's shoulders are now starting to flare outside, right? He's taking the bait this way, and that was part of it too. He's getting run out of position by the semi-roll, and now that the quarterback's shoulders are in this direction, he's not in prime position to help over the top. If he is, much different story. He took the bait just as much as anybody else. Now, at this juncture, he's in prime position. Even though he's playing the receiver, he's not playing the ball. This is taught. He's in position here. You know what benefited UAB here? That the ball was slightly underthrown. Because when he turns his head to look the ball, if the ball's there, he's in prime position. But because it's underthrown, good adjustment right here by the wide receiver, and that's a touchdown. It's not as bad as it initially looked on TV. You got to go back and look at it as parts. Safety got ran out of the play as well. He could have played that a lot better. Ivy was in prime position. An underthrown ball put him in a bad spot, and that led to a touchdown. I don't say bang for the other team. Don't worry. Okay, so why did it go wrong? Well, Miami back out in their 11-set personnel. Here's your tight end, however, and this is what Brevin Jordan can do for you. He's your Swiss Army knife. In this case, you're flexing him outside. Now, this is going to be an RPO. You're going to have Mike Harley on a slant, and Pope is basically doing another in-breaking. So this is an in-breaking RPO on the boundary side of the field. This isn't a quarterback zone read. And sometimes when you're like, De'Ara King, he should have just kept it because, there was yards there. But in this case, I'm going to prove to you that this isn't a quarterback zone read because you got to go to the mesh point and you got to read the play in parts. And right here, that's the mesh point. Do you see where De'Ara King's eyes are faced? They're faced at the middle of the field, and what is he looking at? He's looking straight ahead at the Mike linebacker. And why is he doing that? Because if the Mike linebacker crashes down, now that's your big slant window, and Mike Harley's going to be the beneficiary of that. This is a take what the defense gives you. In this case, they took away the slant window. De'Ara King astutely doesn't throw it, and that's why he didn't throw any interceptions. Even though this play doesn't go for yards, it's actually a negative, right? It's a tackle for a loss for UAB. In this case, the decision not to throw the ball saved an interception. So in this case, he astutely gives it to Cam Harris. Now, the first level, it's blocked relatively well. You do have a running lane, but this outside linebacker, he wasn't accounted for by the offensive line. That wasn't in the design. You have somebody stalk blocking out here trying to go ahead and free a block, but this was the first level for me, in my opinion, was blocked well. In this case, it was just a free hitter that comes in, makes a play. You know what? Just unfortunate. He bounces this inside. Maybe he can get a couple positive yards instead of negative yards. But even in some of the negative losses and the negative plays, you got to read it in parts. That wasn't a zone read, and that wasn't an interception either. Oh, and wouldn't you know it? On the last clip, you just saw the quarterback's vision, and we learned that that's an RPO, right? That wasn't a zone read. But what is this? This is a zone read. And how can we tell? We'll go right to the mesh point. 4th and 1, and I'll back this up before I get there. If you don't make this play, you get all the criticism. We know how this play ends, and of course you look like the GOAT. But how did it happen? So in this case, right when you go to the mesh point, right there, you see where De'Ara King's eyes are? He's on that outside rush linebacker. He's looking. And what is the key? If he goes ahead and crashes down, De'Ara King would have kept this ball, and he essentially could have scored a touchdown as well. But he astutely gives this ball off. Now, something else. Brevin Jordan's ability to go ahead, he has somebody that's marking him. And even though you're in the boundary, it's the little things, right? The fact that he's doing a quick little bubble, this defender has to honor that. So there you go. This is what sets this up. You get this defender to run with Brevin Jordan. You get this defender to go ahead and stay on De'Ara King. And then your offensive lineman will show this as we keep letting this play unfold. Well, they do their job too. Good patience, finds a little hole. By the way, for everybody listening, yeah, That was created by the offensive line. I'll say it again. That hole was created by the offensive line. Yes, there was a lot of parts that made this work. D'Eriq King's feet made this work. Brevin Jordan's ability to take a defender made it work. But if you don't think the offensive line made that hole, I don't know. You got to start giving these young men credit when credit is due. Great block right there by Will Mallory. We got to give him credit. And then Cam Harris, bang! First one of the season. There it is. Emphatically, bang, bang. That was a play that we needed. That's the ability of this offense to score on the fly. 66-yard touchdown rush. Now, here we go. Here's Will Mallory, double team at the point of attack. He watches his defender. Look at what they do here, and then look at the lane. Okay? It wasn't much, but there you go. That's what you need. Good patience, good vision. Mike linebacker doesn't see Cam Harris. But right there, that is creating a rushing lane. Your offensive line did that. Okay? Toast, that's to you. Moving forward, when you get somebody open deep downfield, we got to hit those shots. That was something that was missing all game. Let's be honest. Running game was firing over 300 yards of offense, but some of the plays deep downfield were left, and here's one of them. I just want to, credit the offensive line. You know I watched a lot of them last year, right? Handling stunts, and I said it numerous times, the University of Miami were allergic to stunts. In this case, look at all the line stunts. Twists, turns. They create enough of a pocket to give D'Eriq King the ability to go ahead and throw. Levels, good. This is your running back over here. Campbell's doing a good job sealing this off from the outside. And then that's the pocket that you need. That's the time that you need. And right here, you get this in stride. Potentially this is a touchdown to Mike Harley. He's got a space. He's got a step. You need to hit those moving forward. It's not always rainbows and butterflies. But in this case, the offensive line did its job against a blitz and multiple stunts. There's two plays a quarterback can make. The play that the offensive coordinator called, and when that play's not there, the play that he can make. This is option B. This is what D'Eriq King can do. Now, at the snap of the ball right here, in rhythm, this would have been rhythm. If the ball is coming out, fine. Offensive line, you did your job. In this case, hold the block just a little bit longer. Scaife gets swim on that side. D'Eriq King initially running to that direction. If D'Eriq King sits in the pocket, it's a little bit more well-defined. Corey Gaynor's doing a good job stonewalling his defender. Just take a look, take inventory. Fine. D'Eriq King running in that direction immediately after his primary read wasn't there. This was a one read and look. Let's be honest. This was one read and move. He's moving where Scaife is essentially pushing his defender. That creates the problem, but here's the play that D'Eriq King can make. And just enjoy it. UAB, you can say no all you want, but we know that was a first down. Yeah, that's my rooster alert. Here we go, zone read. We know, just look at the quarterback's eyes. Right here, he looks at the end. You can see that UAB was very content in keeping D'Eriq King in check on some of these zone reads. That's what sprung the 4th-and-1 touchdown to Cam Harris, and that's also what springs this run for the rooster, Jalen Knighton. In this case, Traore is going to go ahead and do a good job. They're coming out on a zone read, and he does a good job getting to the secondary defender. Kind of loses his leverage just a little bit when the linebacker goes ahead and pushes outside, but he has enough pop in him to at least get him to lose his balance a little bit. A stronger linebacker hit the weights. Maybe he's in Philly fit. He makes that tackle. But, our rooster's just too strong. Got to give credit there more to the running back who spins out, and that's just natural ability. A lot of things made that work, right? Initially at the point of attack, offensive line did a really good job. Offensive line getting to the secondary defender, good job. The fact that you're respecting a quarterback's mobile threat, good job. And the fact that you have running backs who have that kind of God-given ability. Good stuff. Big boy bully alert. Nesta. Great job, my dude. So Miami right here is going to go after another shock play. Now, the one shock play down around the goal line where they were trying to do a pump and go, they're trying to do an out and up here. And anytime you see that on film or anytime as a quarterback, you know that that's something that you have dialed in. You're looking for a big play here on 2nd 10 on their end. And it's just not going to be there. So right here, look at Marshall Few. He's here in the slot. UAB in man coverage. Got to give good credit here to the UAB defender. Right here, you see there's the out, and now he's going to go ahead and try to take the up. If this looks like this would have broken earlier, D'Eriq King could have go ahead and potentially pulled the trigger. It's covered. So this essentially is going to get attributed to a coverage sack. Now, the other thing that makes this work, you don't have this defender right here, okay? Then D'Eriq King probably breaks this off for another big run. But he's spying and he's trying to clean up the mess. He's in coverage and then he's attaching to D'Eriq King. He has an out. Pocket, it was there. You could have stole. Somebody who's not looking to run right now could potentially try to make some plays work. You have a comeback at the top of the screen, but that's all the way across the other side of the field. I'm not expecting a quarterback to try to hit an out and up on one side to the boundary, swing all the way across the other side for basically a 12-10 comeback. That's not realistic. But in this case, here's the mop-up defender. He mops up D'Eriq King. He's not there. Look at the running lane. UAB, you caught us on that one. Credit to you. So 3rd and 15, you don't want to be in this look. You don't want to be behind the change this much, but it's a 3-by-1 look. Miami once again, 11-set personnel. It's going to highlight D'Eriq King's arm strength, but you got to go ahead and find out why this play doesn't work. In this case, give kudos and credit once again to the UAB defender. He's playing press man here. He's going to go ahead and get a nice jam at the line of scrimmage, and then he's going to go in a trail technique. There's the trail, and astutely, he's reading his two side, right? And he understands that somebody's going long, so he's reading the quarterback the whole time. That's the benefit here of the trail technique. He's underneath this route. You don't know it's going to be a quick out route. If that DB is not there, that's probably a completion. That all day long. But the UAB basically jamming, then coming up under a trail technique and reading the you don't just read your guy. You also read and you look at route concepts. Once one guy's going by you, there's probably somebody coming into a spot. Good play by the UAB defender. Great arm by D'Eriq King. It's football. So this is going to be the last clip of this video. I wanted to go under the hood. This is the first week of a Rhett Lashlee Miami Hurricane offense. So this is going to be a 2-part series this week. And this is going to end up a sack. This is Miami's last sack. 2 sacks, and this is their 2nd sack. And I just want to have a healthy debate. I think, in my opinion, this is as much on the quarterback as it is the offensive line, and you can decide. Once again, and we saw this earlier in the video, they're trying to hit an out and up again with Marshall Few. This time I think it's open because there's a natural rub and pick on it that would have gotten his defender off. So I think it was prudent to get back to this play. However, let's go ahead and look at the offensive line play and see what happened here. So they're going to go ahead. UAB is doing a delayed blitz from this linebacker here. Something I noticed, and this is slick from Cam Harris. Cam Harris notices that there's going to be a blitz from the field side. So that's good presence of mind. That's great. Now watch what else he does. He slickly and astutely notices that there's somebody, it's blocked, it's picked up, I got numbers, so now I'm going to go ahead and peel back and become a check down. Really slick. I don't think I saw that last year. I didn't see that kind of metamorphosis of the blocking game to even for a running back to decide that, to go across the field, realize his block's not there, and then head out into the check down. Here's Corey Gaynor. He's going to look for work. That didn't always happen last year either. He's fine there too. So here comes the out and up real quick. So there's the out and up, and there's the pick. At this point, if D'Eriq King is slightly over into the pocket, maybe he sees this, pulls the trigger, you have the potential for a big play. All right, now DJ Scaife is doing a good job at this point. All right, this is covered. This is a pocket. They're pushing. They're riding their defensive ends who are trying to get to an attack point. They're pushing them downfield. Gaynor back engaged. He's engaging. He's looking for work. He found it. Now watch what happens here. He just puts his head down, turns into a runner, and runs himself basically into that sack. I don't think that was necessarily DJ Scaife's fault. He just kind of ran at that. If he's over by inches and stays in this pocket, look, there's a pocket. It's right there. There's your pocket. He has time for it. If he sticks with it, maybe he gets this out and up. Don't necessarily know what exactly is on the top end or over the top. He tries to make a play being the athlete. Sometimes it's going to happen. Sometimes you make a play as an athlete. You saw a bunch of them, and sometimes you try to make a play for the athlete. It's a fine game sometimes, but you decide, was that on the quarterback or was that on the offensive line?